rescued. And the rider reads, 51 Niger pupils return home. I won't relent, says President Tinubu. The Hope newspaper also brings some hope, optimism, as 50 among 303 abducted Niger school children escape. CAN chairman confirms development, says 253 others still in captivity. Bishop Yohana urges calm, prayers, stronger collaboration for full rescue. Moving on to the next paper, the Nigerian News Direct, with a banner headline, Security Forces experience breakthroughs as 38 abducted worshippers, 50 students regain freedom as Tinubu orders withdrawal of policemen attached to VIPs. The Daily Times, 38 kidnapped Eruku children, worshippers regain freedom. And then the Abuja Inquirer, insecurity, kidnappings are the kicker, and the headline, federal government overwhelmed. Over 426 kidnapped in 2 weeks, over 25 killed, 50 students escape, 38 churchgoers released. Next is the Guardian newspaper. International pressure mounts on federal government as states close schools over kidnapping. You see that on page 6. The Punch newspaper, mass abduction. Tinubu pulls 100,000 policemen from VIPs. President meets service chiefs. Defense headquarters reviews operations. 50 Niger pupils, 38 Kwara churchgoers freed. This Nigeria, insecurity. Tinubu strips VIPs of police orderlies. 50 kidnapped Niger pupils escape from abductors, reunite with families. And then Platform Times looks the other way, looking at the fresh storm for NNPC as Auditor General uncovers over $51 million questionable payments, tax breaches. Report uncovers tax breaches, irregular contracts, $529,863, 247 million naira unpaid taxes flagged as illegal breaches. Interesting development. A leadership newspaper, if you look above the masthead, you see alleged $1 billion Nestor debt claim. First Bank, Access Bank, Zenith Bank, MDs risk imprisonment over disobedience of court order. Let's move on to the Nature newspaper. COP30 ends with pledges, fails to deliver on concrete climate actions timelines. And last but not least is the Sport and Life. We don't fear anyone, says Iwobi after Fulham's victory against Sunderland. I'll be doing this with Toma, Ria, and of course Emmanuel Ajayi. So let's look at this, because the papers seem to be to unite. When it comes to the issue of insecurity, and then the abduction and the freeing and the rescue of some 38 and 51 others. In the course of this search and rescue by the federal government and the in coordination with the Nigerian police and Nigerian Army security agencies altogether. So if you look at the Nation newspaper, we've seen 38 Kwara abductees rescued, 51 Niger pupils return home. I won't relent, says Tinubu. The same thing with the Hope newspaper. So we've got optimism, etc. Yeah. What say you to this?
I love the fact that 50 or more girls escaped, and I also love the fact that the 38 that were abducted in the church in Kwara had been freed. I would like to know details of how that happened, because a rescue operation that succeeds 100% like that, if it was a rescue operation, then we should use it as a reference point for training our security operatives and things like that. It is refreshing to know that people that were once captives are now free. We want to hear more stories like that. We want to hear that the bandits have been arrested. Yeah. But as I keep saying, those are the employees. The ones that went out to do the mayhem are the employees. Let's get the employers.
Ria, we unfortunately, we've not had any news. Of course, I've not even seen any report that says that one or half of any of these abductors, had been arrested, by the police. But we understand that they are actually combing the forest, chasing them, giving them sleepless nights in order to free these girls. These abductees. good news, but we also need them to be arrested.
After all, they need to be running around because there's no sleep for the wicked, and what they're doing is pure wickedness. Ibrahim, I'm happy that we're celebrating that, 50 girls have returned back, 38 people and all of that. But if we look at it, at the end of the day, we're celebrating this, but there are still people that their children are still in captive. Let's not forget that. I wanted to hear that everybody has been, everybody has been released, or everybody has escaped, because every life matters.
Right.
Ibrahim, I'm very worried, just waking up every morning to this person has been abducted, this person is this, our schools are not safe anymore. It's so scary for me. Now, I wonder, like Atoma was saying, that he has a daughter. Now, these girls, what are their parents thinking? What are they doing there? Have they woken up? Have they eaten? And these are young girls that probably do not even know how to take care of themselves. I'm happy that some have been released, but I think that, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that the federal government, we see that our president is not joking with this. I'm just hoping that we hear more good news. We hear better news. This is good news, but we want to hear better news, because it hurts me that we're celebrating that 50 have run away and they've left. What about the remaining that are there? So do we want to say God doesn't love those ones, or God doesn't love those ones' parents? So I'm just hoping that we finally hear that everybody, has finally gone to their parents where they truly need to be. And also, let's talk about our children that need to go to school. Ibrahim, the fact that schools are now closing because of insecurity, it doesn't say well of us in a time where we see America giving us all these threats. Donald Trump spoke again, and just knowing that our children are not even safe in their school, it's worrisome.
Emmanuel, if you look at the Abuja Inquirer, it's saying that federal government overwhelmed, over 426 kidnapped in 2 weeks, and we saw the president, with the service chiefs yesterday, having a meeting, getting briefing, and then he's also almost like in the front lines, taking charge, because he had to cancel his overseas trips and all of that. But what do you think we've actually not been able to do? Yes, some of them have been rescued. We are sure that we still have some people, in the jaws of this, in the hands of these kidnappers. But what exactly would you like to see the federal government doing, at this point?
I mean, sound top this morning. Let's check those words used. Number one, let's start with the KB incident. 50 or 51 escaped.
Escaped, not rescued.
Not rescued. So these are words we need to be careful.
Okay.
So how did they escape from the arms of these terrorists? So we need to ask that question on this show this morning.
So intensive search and rescue, coordination, pressure on the kidnappers might have led to their escape. Because I tell you, if these guys, I'm not saying they were the one that kidnapped the Chibok schoolgirls, but if they could kidnap over 200 at a time, and then none of them escaped. Just maybe one or two escaped at a time, but this time round we had the entire number, the entire figures escaped. So that's
We had up to 50.
Let me come in
out of over 200.
About 303 or so.
Let me come in from
my children. I'm saying
that
those who escaped, that it must probably have been due to the intensive search and rescue efforts, the pressure.
Okay, let me come in from the figures given by the CAN chairman in Kebbi. It said 303.
Yeah, 303.
Yeah, still in captivity.
Got abducted in Kebbi. 12 teachers. So when you add everything together, it's about 15. So 51 escaped. Good one. Now, at this point, the military need to bring all these girls and start asking, where are you guys from? Where did you escape from? So these are some of the things we need to be doing at the moment.
That's right.
Kudos to the president for cancelling his trip for the GA summit.
As she should be.
I give him kudos concerning that. But when you look at the situation surrounding this, who is behind all these attacks that we are seeing? Whether we like it or not, some papers are also reporting another attack in Brno.
Yes.
So what exactly is happening? What is fueling all this crisis that we're having in the country? Now, when you look at Kwara, 38 rescued, commendation to the military. So at what point can we rescue the remaining girls in Kebbi?
Let's keep our fingers crossed, because what we want to see is for them to come
You
back.
said something very important. I think right about now, even those children with their parents, they need to go and meet those children to ask them questions, because those children can lead them to where the other children are.
Most definitely.
So
but I tell you, some of this information will be classified now when they
I
come
don't know if that is happening,
has
but I think that's what's supposed
it has to be
happening as we
classified.
speak.
We had a security consultant here the other day, and he started giving us a strategy, but we had to cut him off because of time. Okay, those ones in Kebbi, the most likely thing for them to do is to head towards the border. So why don't you put security people around that area and make sure they don't get to the border? That way it is easy for you to know that they are around here and things like that.
Let's move on. If you look at the Punch newspaper, mass abduction crisis, Tinubu pulls 100,000 policemen from VIPs.
I love this topic.
That is very shocking when I saw it.
Yeah.
So
it's commendable too.
It's also commendable. So we had up to 100,000 policemen guarding VIPs.
That's just even a round figure. You know, there will be more than that. But
definitely more than that.
But the problem there is that it is not the first time this has been said. You know, the current IGP in June 2023, he said the same thing, that we are going to withdraw. Sorry, we are going to withdraw the police, you know, from them. 2021, IGP Baba Alkali also said the same thing. In October 2020, the IGP Mohammed Adamu said the same thing. During the NSAS, they said, no, we are going to pull out the police in March 2018, and on and on. But how are we so sure that this directive will be followed through?
Well, maybe because this one comes from Mr. President himself, you know, so we might see some action going on that way. But that, for me, is fantastic on its own case, you know, and a little bit surprising, no, not a little bit surprising, really surprising to me, because what is the full population of the Nigerian police? It's now up to 400,000. Yeah. And we have up to 100,000 policing over 220 million people.
That's below the international standard.
That is just too low. In other climes, VIPs take the services of security consultants. They take private security men, guard them.
All right.
And if it is not private security men, it is maybe the intelligence.
Ria, you think this is very significant as well, though?
Absolutely. And I know that people are going to come for me, but you know that people even rent police officers to go to club. Is that bad? And the fact that
no one will come for you. You're actually stating the obvious.
You're stating the fact.
I don't think anyone. Sometimes I look at it and the way they have degenerated our police officers to, like, how much are you giving them? Once they wear that uniform shows pride, shows their love for Nigeria, shows respect. So I think that this is a great time. And I know that we've said this over and over again and it has not been happening. But I pray that it happens now. And I know that it will happen now because of what is happening, you know, in the country. We need more of our police people to bring our people to rescue them. So having the police now taking care of VIP when people are in forest, when people are somewhere being kidnapped, I think that there's no time better than now that the president said this. I'm just hoping that it is implemented. If you want to secure yourself, go to civil defense or take private security. This is not time.
That's actually what is expected.
This is not time for you to now say you want to take police officers. And if you see the silly reasons why they take them for, we have some of our celebrities. We see them, and I'm like, what are you doing with a police officer? What are you really doing with like?
Emmanuel, so it is not enough. It's not enough to withdraw them from the VIPs, and then they announce lists across the roads, you know, collecting bribes. You know, we see what they do on the road.
We see that a lot.
But there is more that we expect them to do when it comes to, you know, the training, the service commission, etc. So much so that we see a viral police institution.
One thing that is key here is that they should go out there and protect Nigerians. Now, as at 2022, we have the total number of 370,000 police officers in Nigeria. Yeah. So that means that one police officer to every 650 Nigerians.
That's way too low.
650, which is way low what we see outside the shores of this country. So who is bedeviling Nigeria?
And I know that the president was also speaking about, you know, recruiting more people.
These are some of the critical issues that we need. One thing we need to see at the moment is that this order given by the president, all these officers need to be withdrawn. Absolutely. No sentiment attached to it.
At all.
So we shouldn't come back tomorrow and be saying that, oh, we are still seeing some of these VIPs. We need to start calling them out.
No, we should. It's our job to call them out, actually.
Police officers.
Ria is actually right when she said that, you know, you can get your security, you know, protection from the NSCDC.
Exactly.
That's what the government actually said.
And that's what the government actually said. Yeah. You know, it's not every time a police officer. And me, it's the fact that they don't even respect the police officers. And I also like that the president said something. He said, I think he said over 30,000 will be recruited because we need more people. We need more people in the police force, actually, especially with the kind of insecurity that we are facing. So right now, if you're a VIP, please go to the civil defense or get your private security. The police is to take care of what is happening in Nigeria and take care of Nigeria.
I know a VIP that he's all his security details from his village, and he feels very safe using them. But that's just to be, that's on the...
You mean the man went to the village to get his own...
The man recruited the whole of his security details from his village.
Then when you mention village, it's part of...
They are not police officers.
No, they are not police officers.
You are talking about babalawos and...
No.
You know, when people mention village, the next thing that comes to your
Village people attack you, right?
But village is not actually not like that. Now, Platform Times, fresh storm for NNPC as Auditor General uncovers over $51 million questionable payments, tax breaches. So, report uncovers tax breaches, irregular contracts, $529,863 to 147 million naira unpaid taxes flagged as legal breaches. NNPC and transparency and accountability. It is very difficult to find it in the same sentence.
NNPC is owing tax.
It's
owing tax. You know, organizations like that should be like our big brother. You know, we do the right thing. But over the years, it has painted a picture of a cesspool of corruption. Yeah. And it is so unfortunate. I don't think the auditors are finished yet discovering amounts that do not have a subhead, you know. And thanks that they found it and they did not shut up. They are putting it in the public domain so that Nigerians will know the level of rot that has happened in that place and the need for how do I put it, a rejig of the whole of the organization. And it is too important for our economy.
Yeah. NNPCL has been rejigged. You know, we had a leadership, the board, you know, changed by the president, and then, you know, some of these investigations are what we get to see the results. So I believe that there is still a lot to be done. So
for me, I'll just say accountability, because when we talk about NNPC, oftentimes is they're not accountable. You hear some monies and you don't know where the money has gone to. You hear snake as well. Where is the money at the end of the day? How can they? No, it's true, because, you know, you just hear different stories. And then how is it that they are owing tax? So if a company like NNPC, an institution like that, is owing tax, then what will you say to other people? We just need to do better, honestly
Why
speaking.
Will NNPC
we just
be
need to do
tax
we just need to do better.
It's so fantastic.
Why? With the huge amount of money missing there, we
just need to do
getting
better.
alleged money missing in NNPC, and Nigerians are suffering and smiling, and some people are packing all this money in their pockets.
That's right.
And I say, people, and Emmanuel, people always blame the government, but it starts with you. When you are in a place of position, what are you doing?
So we are all leaders. What are you doing in that little space of years to ensure that you bring transparency and accountability on board?
Right, Nature News. Wow, it was quite long I saw this paper. It's so good to see it again. COP30 ends with pledges, fails to deliver on concrete climate actions, timelines. You know, we always talk about the environment, you know, the carbon emission, the greenhouse, you know, all of those terms, you know, always bringing up. And then we've been having COP21, 22, 29. We saw the you know, controversies that came out of there. All the monies voted to some of the countries that have been affected by this climate change, saying that, come on, we are not really getting what we should get in the first place. So COP30 also ends with pledges, fails to deliver on concrete climate actions, timelines. And they are just making Trump, you know, sound very correct when he said, no, what you guys are doing is just, I don't know, I don't want to be part of it.
The way I see this thing is the government officials are not well educated about these climate change things. So when you're talking about climate change and all this environmental stuff, you're talking above their heads. And they are the ones that make policies. They make policies for the country and so on. So I believe that if we stop all these jargons, you know, and go down to brass tacks, use what we call the KISS initiative, keep it short and simple, give them good education, let them understand what is going on and the consequences of not doing the right thing. Maybe we'll have better stories coming up from that sector.
We're looking at people who are saying that we want to move away from fossil fuel to to renewable energy, you know, and so on and so forth. But we understand that there is actually...
But for me, before we just go, a quick one. Thank God that the president of Nigeria did not even attend the COP30. You know, Nigerians
that's something very important to do.
It's a waste of time with all this decision we're seeing at the moment.
All right. Okay, that's about it for the newspapers up for review. I understand that that's about it. Coming up on TVC Breakfast, with students and teachers facing rising threat, the call for state police gains more momentum. Join us after the break for this conversation.